For the first time, a Fairbanks father is speaking out after his son pleaded not guilty to killing his grandmother. For weeks, we've been reporting that police say George Kuntz's mother, Velma Kuntz, was found shot to death in her wheelchair back in January. Brian Davenport was accused in the killing and charged with first-degree murder. His attorney entered a not guilty plea this week on his behalf. In an emotional interview, George Kuntz told our investigative team's Johnson Kuhn he believes his son viewed this as a mercy killing during a mental health crisis. He says his son's behavior included incoherent text messages, refusal to stay on medication, and difficulty distinguishing reality. George says he never thought his son would become violent. At the same time, he talked about losing his mother to dementia.
We started noticing that she had trouble remembering stuff. And it's kind of like if you use the metaphor of a candle, her candle started getting dimmer and dimmer with the passing years.
You can watch the full story this Sunday night after the Super Bowl at 8 p.m. on KTUU Channel 2 and in the interior on KTVF Channel 11. A Utah man has pleaded guilty to second-degree murder for the 2019 killing of a Homer woman who was missing for nearly 2 years. Yesterday, 36-year-old Kirby Calderwood admitted to kidnapping and murdering Anesha Duffy Murnane. Duffy Murnane went missing in October of 2019, prompting a massive search. Murnane's body was never found. But in 2022, a tip linked Calderwood to her death, and he was arrested. He faced a maximum of 99 years in prison for second-degree murder charges. But a plea agreement calls for Calderwood to serve 87 active years in prison, followed by 10 years of probation. And according to some, parking at the Anchorage Airport is getting increasingly challenging. And we've got our Lauren Maxwell showing us now. You might be surprised at some of the things that are taking up space.
Parking at the Anchorage Airport is never fun, especially when you experience this, cruising level after level of the parking garage, and every space is full.
I had to go around a couple of times, and I followed a gentleman out who was just arriving and rolled down my window and asked him if I could have his parking space, and he said yes.
Part of the problem is that not every space is available. Some have questioned why the airport closes sections of parking for months just to store snow.
It says do not enter, and it's snow storage area, so which I suppose is hard to haul off rooftop parking, but we live in Alaska.
Something else taking up space are Turos, private vehicles that are available for rent. The airport doesn't keep track of how many Turos are parked there at a given time, but the Turo website lists more than 100 vehicles that are available at the Anchorage Airport. Even so, airport officials don't believe the rental cars are causing big problems.
Turo vehicles aren't necessarily a major driver when it comes to congestion parking at the airport, and that's because the car owner, the host, and the customer have incentives to keep that vehicle moving and not parked for a long period of time.
She says Turos pay regular daily or hourly rates for parking. On top of that, the airport gets a percentage of gross sales that in a year's time has amounted to more than $1 million. In the meantime, many drivers are still circling.
Gone the whole way up, and it doesn't appear to be any parking spots.
Perhaps wishing they'd budgeted more time to find a parking spot. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's news source.
The airport reminds people they can also park at the North Terminal lot. A 20-year plan for the airport that was recently completed also includes more parking. And the weekend almost here. With snow in the forecast, it's likely going to look a little bit different leading up to Sunday's big game. We've got Melissa joining us now because that sounds like quite a change from what we've been seeing recently.
Yeah, it's been warm. We've been seeing rain and ice, and those temperatures now are going to slide back to normal with snow moving back in. We're going to see an active weather pattern here over this next week. That does mean snow headed for South Central this weekend. There's also a strong storm moving into western Alaska. That's going to be next week, Tuesday through Thursday. Start preparing now. And then we're also seeing some cold setting in across the state, including across the interior. Right now, though, pretty quiet and beautiful. Anchorage sitting at 26 degrees, 25 in Palmer, 6 in Fairbanks, and 37 in Juneau. We are still seeing that rain pushing into southeast. Wet conditions again for you Saturday. And we will see rain also arriving into Prince William Sound and the coastal areas of South Central, which will actually switch to a rain-snow mix in places like Seward and Whittier before switching over to all snow once we get later into the weekend. Anchorage snow showing up Sunday morning. We'll see it in the valley as well. And then it spreads across the Kenai Peninsula Sunday into Monday. So do be prepared for right now. It looks like 4 to 7 inches of snow for Anchorage. That is Sunday and Monday combined. And then we actually have additional snow on the way for Wednesday. So again, active weather returning. Not for your Saturday though. Saturday, enjoy the sunshine. 30 degrees in Anchorage, 2 in Fairbanks. Juneau, rain showers with highs in the upper 30s, and Bethel seeing high temperatures in the mid-teens, partly sunny skies for you. And Augusta, I'll have a closer look at the details on that snow forecast here in a few minutes.
All right, much to come, Melissa. Thanks so much. And in education, Alaska school districts are projected to lose around 1,500 students next year. The Department of Education and Early Development says for the first time ever, this decline will include traditional classrooms and online classes. The department says many families are trading public schools for independent homeschooling. Private schools and out-of-state virtual academies also part of that change. A large number of students are moving out of state as well. Overall enrollment in Alaska has been dropping since 2017. Fewer students means less state funding. Budget decisions based on enrollment will be discussed as the legislative session runs through May. Fairbanks is getting creative to tackle its housing crunch. With new military arrivals on the horizon, the Fairbanks North Star Borough is rolling out a new tax incentive to spark home construction in key areas. Eligible properties will see certain exemptions for periods ranging from 3 to 10 years, depending on the size and number of units being built. Buildings must take place in certain places around the borough, within the cities of Fairbanks or North Pole. It can also take place in a military facility zone or in a residential area that's suitable for high-density development. Last Thursday, the Borough Assembly voted unanimously in favor of the new program, which is scheduled to be available for the next 3 years.
I'm excited for the 3-year window because maybe we need to find places to extend utilities. Maybe we need to develop more or plat out more land so that it's available for builders. Or maybe we find other incentives along the way that we can work with the developers to stack on top of each other.
Developers are required to apply for this incentive before they start building, and Hopkins said some builders have already expressed interest in their program. All eyes are on the Winter Olympics, which held its opening ceremonies earlier today in Milan. Alaska's top skiers will be competing on that global stage, with the state cheering them on from back home. Sports director Jordan Rodenberger brings us the sights and sounds from a local watch party from the opening ceremonies.
The APU Nordic Ski Center, where Olympians are made, as half of the Team USA cross-country ski team trains on these trails. And as they walked for the opening ceremonies in Italy on Friday, they felt the support from thousands of miles away back home in Alaska.
It's definitely pretty incredible to have so many people from our team make the Olympics. It's wild.
I think it speaks to how good Alaska is for the Nordic skiing. We love it here, you know. It's got everything you need to be a Nordic skier at the highest level.
It's amazing. I think a lot of people have a lot of ideas what Alaska is. They don't really know who we are. And so I think it's really awesome to see our community come together and say, yes, we're here, we're going to kick butt, and we got this.
If Alaska were its own nation in the Parade of Nations, we would be well represented in the sport of cross-country skiing.
And the first cross-country ski race of the 2026 Olympics will be the Women's Skiathon on Saturday, as much of the state will be watching over the next few weeks as the Alaskans go for glory. Jordan Rodenberger, Alaska's news source.
Thanks for listening. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcast from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's New Source app.